I was actually too scared to open it because I had a handwritten note at the back of it, and I was like, you know what? It's actually a pretty cool thing that I want to keep, not so much as an experience, but it's a collector thing because I know, and plus it was labeled with my name, so that's the beauty of it. Hi guys, this is Eleonor from Revolution. I am here at La Caserne, which is a place located in the 10th arrondissement that used to be a firefighter station. It was bought and co-founded later by the group Kering as being an incubator for luxury startup. Here I'm with Lilian, founder of the brand Awake, which is a watch brand on the innovative side that was created just a few years ago, and he's going to tell us everything about that story. Thank you, Lilian, for opening up to this wonderful journey that started in 2019.
Yeah.
So tell us, before you got into all of this story, how did you get here?
I've been collecting watches for 20 years, so I'm truly a watch enthusiast, as we say. And I've been working in the watch industry for something like 10 years because all my projects or all my life is about my passion and not only work in...
So it's all about business and pleasure at the same time.
Exactly. It is very important for me because I never count my hours, and I like to wake up with the smile and the envy to move forward in my job.
And you were telling me earlier that the trigger was when your twins were born. And when your twins were born, you realized that they were born in a place, on a planet, where things on an ecological standpoint kind of changed. What made you realize that and then creating a new project?
In fact, when you listen to the radio, when you watch TV, you always receive bad news, and there is a reason for that. Is that the planet Earth is in trouble. So I'm not like a climate.
Activist.
Yeah, I'm not an activist. I'm not a climate engineer. So I wanted to bring my values, become very sensitive to this problem, and I have in mind that I want to create a world for my children that will be at least as good as the one I knew in the past. So I wanted to mix this personal vision of the world with my passion for watch, and this is the way I created Awake.
Because when you created Awake, and then we'll get into what does Awake actually means, it's interesting how bringing I want to say a luxury, like utilitarian object that is the watch, that is more of a status and wealth to some extent, mixing it with environmental problems and change, blending together a project that is now yours and you're defending for a good cause. Weren't you afraid when you started this project that people were going to receive a biased message to some extent?
First of all, when we started Awake, the sustainable issue was not a problem in the watch industry. But actually, it's not a really huge problem because watches, you never put your watches on trash. You know, it's not a problem in a way that it's a sustainable object by itself. But I think that we are in luxury. We create like something that is above the basic needs, and in that way, you have to be exemplary. You have to show that you can bring innovation into this industry because the watch and the luxury industry creates the trends, and
it's true.
And you have to show that even the things that are not really basic needs can bring something different, something new, something sustainable.
And in Awake per se, can you define what it actually means?
Awake's mission is to raise awareness about the beauty and the fragility of the earth, because that's, in a way, this is the most important thing for humankind. We have only one planet. This is the reason why we put our mission into our name. Literally, Awake means awakening consciousness.
So it has a very much of an avant-garde approach based on the values and the message that you want to give to the audience and your future customers.
Exactly. I think that watches is a symbol of status. And I think that in the future, your status will be also defined by your values and not only by your wealth. So I think that the watch itself is a great instrument somewhere to to show your values. I think that our ambition is to give a new sense, to give more sense to time and to the instrument, the watch, that embodies it.
So now if we get into the actual creation of the watch, from the one that you envisioned to the one you finally created, what was the process like? Because when you created Awake, it was in 2019, and then COVID hit right there.
Yeah.
And for 2 years, everything, maybe a little less, but things were on standby. What was your journey like, creating a brand right then?
I think that in a way, COVID, which was quite tough in terms of business, we were very young, very fragile. And I think that in the same time, it was a message that the Earth sent to all of us, saying that, are we going in a good way? I think that it also helped to awake consciousness too. So, but of course, it was difficult because when we started back in 2019, it was something really new. So it was not really easy to create a brand with sustainable materials, because we are very into innovation. We don't like to use the materials that are available, because we would have bring something new. And I think that innovation also is about creating things that are better than the previous one. But also you have to face the problem of sourcing and creating new materials.
So how did you choose the materials? Because most of it is recycled, and you're going to tell us in a few seconds. What is made your first watch?
The first watch was made from recycled fishing nets. And there is a story behind this, because we were 6 months old and we received a call from the French government, who invited us at the Élysée.
And they contacted you through Messenger, usually.
Yeah, through
you
Messenger.
thought it was a joke.
That was a bit crazy. I think, well, it's a troll. But when we were invited into the Élysée, we realized that it was not a joke. And they asked us to create a watch that will symbolize France's engagement into biodiversity and ocean preservation. So we created the first watch in the world made from recycled fishing nets. And the cool story behind that, instead of just being offered to the presidents, that was the purpose of the collaboration. The French president took the watch.
So it was still already Macron at the time?
Yeah, Macron at the time. He took the watch and showed to all the presidents that this is the way that France wants to bring innovation
into the future.
Exactly. So that was.
And for once, it was not on the Swiss market, but it was on the French market.
No, it was a French market. The thing was cool because we were really young. Basically, we were 6 months, and the fact
that drove a lot of traffic and a lot of visibility to your brand.
Of course, but the most important thing is that we understood at the time that if you bring innovation, if you bring something new, you can even inspire a French president or president to showcase your product, to show your journey.
They were proud.
He was proud to show this because it was made from a French company, but we were proud to see that, what is the biggest influencer in France was able to show what we've done.
And you've been talking about innovation a lot. What is the actual innovation in a watch that nobody has seen before?
I think that apart from the materials, that was our first material. Now we are working on titanium and different recycled materials. The second most important innovation was the NFT. So we were the first brand in the watch industry to integrate NFC chip into the sapphire glass of our watch. And this connect to an NFT where you can discover really amazing experiences. We created this with the NASA collaboration
that was your first watch, the collaboration with the NASA.
Yeah, that was our first mechanical watch. Now we are only doing mechanical watches. This was a collaboration with NASA, but it was also important to understand why we made this collaboration. We made this collaboration because for us, NASA is one of the biggest innovative organization in the world, and we share this value and this pleasure for innovation. But also they bring people to space, and space is not just a cool thing, because most of the brands, when they speak about space, they say, space is cool, but space for us is the best place to see Earth's beauty and fragility. Again, we always do things that are connected to our mission and to our vision. And the experience we created into this watch was to connect the ISS camera, the NASA camera, So everybody, every owner of this watch could have access to the view from the space like an astronaut.
Yeah, I remember when I first saw it, with your phone you would just like,
exactly,
as if you were scanning QR code, and then it would just like put you straight to
that's important, because
camera.
I think that this is important to create experiences around the watch. A watch is like something that's
it's an object that gives the time, but people
exactly.
nobody now buys it to actually get the time.
But it's also Awake's DNA to bring something different, something new. We were the first one in the watch industry to do that. So that's very important, because we don't do it because it's cool. We never do things because it's cool.
You do it because you have a mission.
Yeah, because we have a mission and we want to share this vision, but in a nice way. The problem with sustainability things is that when you listen to the market, everybody is sustainable, every company is sustainable now. That's a point. But also, most of the time, sustainability is about what's the problem. But we don't want to always focus on the problem. We want to focus on what's inspire people.
And on finding the solution to that problem.
Yeah, exactly. But the finding the solution is doing things different way. That's where innovation comes. When we talk about the Earth, it's just to show how it's beautiful, because everybody have emotions about the nature, some landscape they saw. This is the way we want to inspire people, instead of saying, oh, we are killing the planet. That's not the way we want to share our values. We want to share them in a positive way.
Of course. So if we go back a little, you have the idea of creating your brand. You're actually launching your brand in 2019. Yeah. Right before COVID hits, you got a call from the French president asking you to create basically a collection for them. Then you launch it. Then you create the second watch, which is actually your first of your collection, partnering with the NASA.
Yeah.
Everything gets sold out in a couple of hours, days. And then you move on to the second collection right after the realm of COVID, where you start to get some attention. And how did you decide? Because that watch, to be said, we didn't even see the day of light because it was sold out before you couldn't even publish anything. So what was the success of that one that we didn't see?
I think that we got a lot of attention from media, because the innovation we brought to the watch.
So you brought the NFC, you still had the same basic components that made the DNA of Awake, which is sustainable, recycling products, materials in order to make the case. Same with the bracelet. Then we had the innovation, the NFC, and you work with Ariana, if I'm not mistaken.
Ariani, yeah.
Ariani.
They bring the wallet solution. When you talk about NFT, when you talk about wallet, people think about cryptocurrency. People think about the monkey that you can sell at a higher price that you bought it. So I like the way that we use blockchain, because it's all about blockchain. We use blockchain to draw attention to the planet, and not to use it like everybody else use it.
And there's a traceability impact as well, where you know where the different components of your watch are coming from, where they're being assembled, etc., etc.
Yeah. In addition to the experience that I talked about, we bring some services. So you have a full transparency on the watch, on the components, on everything. It is a way to dematerialize the papers, so you never lose them. So we bring like traditional services, but we like to focus on the experiences.
And now let's talk about experience. One day I got this thing getting sent to my mailbox, and I'm thinking, okay, now I think we're on to the third chapter of the Awake mission. It's called Meteorite. Well, I've got the Meteorite information. I was actually too scared to open it because I had a handwritten note at the back of it, and I was like, you know what? It's actually a pretty cool thing that I want to keep, not so much as an experience, but it's a collector thing, because I know, and plus it was labeled with my name, so that's the beauty of it. This is, I believe, being a 3D printing of what could be the prototype of the next watch, the one you're just launching. How is this time traveler's prototype came to life after the last 2 or 3 years in the Awake journey?
It took us 1 year almost from the 2 precedent chapters to the last one.
You should be proud of it, because when you think about a watch cycle, it takes about 3 to 4 years to actually, from the minute you think about it to the minute you sketch it, and to the minute then it finally ends in a retailer store.
That's the good point of being
innovative.
Innovative, and I will say like very reactive. So I think that we have a product development which is far faster than like the big groups. But yeah, it took us 1 year, which is quite a long period anyway. And we wanted to bring something very different. That with the 2 first chapters, we went into the space to observe the planet, and the last chapter was in the idea, in the philosophy, to go back to Earth. Go back to Earth because we don't want to live in the space. We don't want to live in Mars or in the Moon. That's maybe other people think about it, but this is not the place. We want to stay on Earth, and we wanted to go back to Earth with a meteorite, because a meteorite is something that land on Earth. This is the way we find them, and also this is a fragment of eternity. The meteorite we used is 4.56 billion years old. So it's older than the planet Earth itself. So basically, this meteorite saw the creation of our planet.
How did you find it?
We were helped with a meteorite chaser.
Okay.
So there are people on Earth
who are actually chasing meteorites.
Yeah, exactly. And it helped us into finding this meteorite, which was discovered in 1906, so more than 1 century ago. Yeah, and we wanted to use it because meteorite is a natural element, but it's also a witness of the creation of the planet.
It's true. So I understand the philosophy of bringing something that's 4 billion years old and encapsulate it inside a watch dial. But why did you actually want to do this instead of just crafting a watch block out of this stone to make it even more wow or something rare that we could actually touch it?
The idea was to put this, literally this fragment of eternity into a watch, so it's gonna stay for years and decades and centuries. And it also reminds us that we have a very short period of life into this Earth.
It's true. It's just a passage.
It's just a passage. And this meteorite is so much more than what we are as a humankind.
So now if we actually get into the technical, I'm not Waco, but if we get into the technical details of this watch, because I've been wearing it now for some time, and it's true that it's a 40mm case, which is kind of a hybrid size. I mean, we just got our Watches and Wonders, and now the trend is up to 38, 39mm case, but it's extremely light.
Yes, because it's titanium. And in this case, we put a lot of efforts onto details. So you have
kind of a satin brushed.
Yeah, satin. It's a sandblasted.
Sandblasted, okay.
Finish with polish on some areas, you know.
On the side of the watch, you have the polished line next to the case.
And this is the 40 milliliters size is something like, of course, that goes to most of wrists. And also, this watch is kind of tool watch. You know, it's water resistant to 100 meters, crude crown. So it didn't have to be too small, but we didn't want to make it too big too. So
but the fact that it's so light makes it extremely wearable, whether you're a guy, whether you're
extremely
a girl.
Comfortable, of course.
The bracelet, what's the texture?
Yeah,
it's super soft, yet it's a rubber, but not really.
Yeah, it's made from our own material, which is biopoly. It's made from castor oil, so it's so it's
so it can hydrate my skin.
Yeah, exactly, or your hair. So the thing is, it's very comfortable, it's very sustainable, and it's very I would say eco-friendly.
Okay, and here so you have the meteorite dial, which you've added some superluminova indexes.
Yep.
And at the back, we can see that it's a sapphire back case where you have the Miyota movement that you've used for the watch.
Exactly.
But you've done some work on the rotor.
Yeah, exactly. The choice of the Miyota movement is because it's really accurate and
reliable.
Yeah, exactly. So the fact that we wanted to bring some customization on the rotor with like our taste for finish, for small details. And there is a lot of work on the rotor basically because we have some brushed and polished surface, and so it's kind of unique.
I like the Dare Mighty things. One thing,
This is the mantra of NASA.
Interesting.
Yeah,
So you
yeah.
kept it. You stopped the collaboration, but you've kept the mantra.
We didn't stop the collaboration, but there is no inscription on the NASA on this watch, but we wanted to keep the mindset of the NASA.
So in other words, you've created a sustainable watch with an NFC technological innovation, accurate in property. We've got a Meteorite dial with superluminova. We've got a Miyota movement.
Yeah.
What about the price?
It's 1,300 euros.
So it's a no-brainer, basically.
Yeah, that's part of the story. We want to bring like a
sustainable watches at a sustainable price.
Exactly. No, we want to offer like a lot of horological pleasure at a reasonable price.
Well, congratulations on the project.
Thank you.
It's great. But one thing we didn't talk about is the watch that you're currently wearing at your wrist. You were mentioning that there were two versions of this one, but this one seems to be a third one that didn't get into the picture.
Yeah, this one is a collaboration with a famous French retailer.
Okay.
So this is a private collaboration. We don't showcase the watch on our website, and if you want to have this watch, you have to contact the retailer.
Can we give the name of that retailer?
Yeah, it's l'Accessoire, Les Montres.
So if you want it, you have to fly to Paris. Good luck on that in recent times. But other than that, you can always give them a call.
Exactly.
Thank you so much for sharing
Eleonor.
all that story, and good luck for the rest of the new chapters.
Thank you very much.